Brought to you by
Good evening, I'm Jasmine Irajak with the news at 6. In this edition, PNGDF Unity Walk on final leg, landowner company enters aviation business, and Unitech student out on bail with conditions. PNG Defence Force exercise Antap Long All 2025 makes a final leg with the long-range reconnaissance unit handing over the baton to 1st Battalion, Royal Pacific Island Regiment at Malalawa Station, Gulf Province today. 16 1RPIR soldiers from Tarama Barracks and Goldie in Port Moresby now walk with the baton to Port Moresby. The team is expected to arrive in the nation's capital on September the 1st, 2025. Exercise Antap Long All 2025 is a symbolic walk retracing a historic route from Moyam Barracks in Wewak to Port Moresby. The walk is a reenactment of a similar march in 1975, where soldiers delivered an independence message from the PNGDF to the government as the country was preparing for its independence.
They are expected to take a week to reach Port Moresby, hopefully at the end of this month or probably and most likely towards the 1st of next month. This is the preceding event ahead of the PNG Defence Week that is expected to be hosted in the first week of September this year, ahead of the PNG 50th Independence Anniversary. Now, this is the reenactment of the 1975 Defence Force program, which saw the soldiers took the baton from Moyam Barracks in Wewak down to Madang, then to Lae, then travelling the Laki Kamu River down to Gulf Province, where from there soldiers from Taurama Barracks and of course from Goldie took the baton from them and lead to Port Moresby ahead of the 1975 independence. Now this is the reenactment of the same program that happened in 1975. So we are expecting the baton to reach Port Moresby towards the end of this month or early September ahead of the PNG Defence Force Week in September.
The Papua New Guinea Defence Force is preparing to host its independence celebration, which will begin on September the 1st and end on September the 7th. 10 different nations will take part in the event, which will be celebrated through a fleet review, an air show, a military tattoo, and a display of aircraft.
Nations including Fiji, Tonga, Vanuatu, New Zealand, Australia, France, United Kingdom, the United States, Japan, and India, who will join PNGDF to celebrate PNG's 50th independence celebrations. According to the Joint Task Force Commander, Colonel Duncan, the military week will be a significant event to commemorate PNG's independence.
We're inviting all of our friends, our partner nations from 10 different nations around the region and the international community. And we're going to celebrate through a fleet review where ships will sail past APEC House and be saluting His Excellency the Governor-General. We're going to also have a small air show over Ella Beach. We're going to have a 2-day military tattoo at Sir Hubert Murray Stadium with 10 different military bands, or actually 11 if you include the PNGDF. And then we're also going to have a static display of aircraft and a number of formal cocktail receptions for our VIPs and dignitaries. So
he says about 500 PNGDF members will take part in the event.
We put all of our ships together, all of our companies for other events, all of our air transport wing. I'd probably say around about 500 Papua New Guinea Defence Force personnel.
Port Moresby residents have been encouraged to join the celebrations with them.
The military tattoo is going to be amazing, and I would encourage all people in Port Moresby that can get down to Sir Hubert Murray Stadium to enjoy it. But equally, the air show will bring assets and aircraft that PNG people haven't seen very often, and the fleet review itself will be amazing. When you talk about bands, we'll have ceremonial artillery from the Australian Defence Force that will add to the flavour of the event.
Coordinators for the Air, Land and Sea shared insights on what they will be doing on that day.
NH90s in Papua New Guinea yet, so it will be our first time bringing our NH90s here. They're relatively big aircraft. You've perhaps had the Australian MRH90s here historically. Similar sort of role and capabilities to a Black Hawk helicopter.
Ships that we have participating are Guardian-class patrol boats, so they're very important in maintaining maritime security for PNG and maintaining your fisheries and stuff like that. From the Australian side, we've got one of our patrol boats, and the largest ship you're going to see down at the wharf for this event is HMAS Jules, which is a landing ship dock, so a really big ship that carries lots of equipment on it usually. Yeah.
Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape, who has been a state witness in the State versus Yafai case since 2013, has welcomed the court's decision yesterday that found former Deputy Finance Secretary Jacob Yafai guilty of all 5 charges, describing this decision as a significant milestone in the fight against corruption. He also stated that this case should remind everyone that no one is above the law. Marape, inconsistent with the court's findings, said his instructions at the time was to verify claims and only pay what was genuine. He said, "Let this judgment be a timely reminder that no matter how long it takes, justice will prevail," and warned that no one can escape accountability if matters are properly investigated and prosecuted. A historic milestone has been reached by the 12 landowner villages of Oktedi Mine with the launch of Milum Aviation. This new airline is set to transform connectivity and development in Papua New Guinea, with the first 3 Dash 8 planes purchased and ready to take flight, together with a twin otter that is already in service with PNG Air.
Milum Aviation was launched in Tabubil yesterday and has been described as a historic milestone for landowners of the Oktedi mine. The day began with the unveiling of 3 aircrafts at the Dash 8 hangar, accompanied by cultural performances and the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Guests then gathered at the Tabubil Country Club for the launch dinner, where landowners, government leaders, business executives and partners reflected on the significance of the achievement. Among them was Aubrey De Souza, CEO of Milum Group of Companies and the Oktedi Trust, who highlighted that this was not the landowner's first step into aviation. He explained that the trust had purchased its first twin otter in 2004, leasing it to Airlines PNG, before expanding into other investments such as hotels, buildings and shares. Now, with the purchase of 3 new aircrafts in July this year, De Souza said the trust had come full circle, returning to aviation with stronger capacity and vision. He noted that the trust currently holds assets valued at over 200 million kina, representing the collective wealth of 7,000 beneficiaries. The partnership with Pacific Direct was also described as a key driver for ensuring strong returns into the future. As a gesture of recognition, one of the aircraft was named De Souza Spirit in his honor, alongside Ilimbit Dream and Asikim Pride. The launch, supported by Oktedi Mining Limited, was described as a symbol of resilience and unity, with the airline expected to deliver new opportunities, create jobs and improve connectivity for remote communities in Papua New Guinea. Darren Moncrief, CEO of Pacific Direct, described the launch as the result of persistence, leadership and unity. He said the partnership between landowners OTML and Pacific Direct had transformed a long-held dream into reality. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The PNG University of Technology student involved in the alleged sexual assault of a young woman is out on a 3,000 kina court bail. Magistrate Grace Pew allowed the first-year student's bail to be extended, converting the police bail to court bail and increasing the amount from 2,000 kina to 3,000 kina.
21-year-old Sean Rolpagaria was identified by police in a video that went viral, harassing a mentally challenged young woman at the PNG University of Technology campus between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. on August 9th. The 21-year-old first-year student was charged with 1 count of sexual touching. Rolpagaria, dressed in a blue button-down shirt, appeared before Magistrate Grace Pew at 10:33 a.m. today in the lay committal court for his second mention. Police prosecution, First Constable Maureen Pohey, submitted that since Rolpagaria does not have a permanent residence in Ley, he is a flight risk. However, prosecution submitted that the following bail conditions should be considered by the court if the court wishes to grant bail. 5,000 kina bail to be imposed due to the seriousness of the offence, the defendant to only reside at the PNG University of Technology campus, the defendant to report to the officer in charge of prosecution every fortnight Tuesday between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Furthermore, prosecution said while the guarantor, Ruben Kalate, is a reputable man as per his profession at the PNG University of Technology, he is related to the defendant's father. Therefore, prosecution submitted to the court to have 2 guarantors who are neutral persons and not related by blood or marriage to the defendant. Defense counsel Kibas Kendip of Gamuga Lawyers responded that the defendant is a first-time offender, and in terms of guarantors, the 2 persons of high standing in the community are Lay's Deputy Lord Mayor, Jacob Maragao, and 1 Damien Sagapuna. After listening to both submissions, Magistrate Pew used her discretion as permitted by the Bail Act to grant bail to the defendant. The magistrate ruled that police bail be converted to court bail and the amount increased from 2,000 kina to 3,000 kina cash bail with conditions attached. The conditions are: the defendant is not to leave Ley, Morobe Province without leave of court, the defendant is not to re-offend whilst out on bail, the defendant is to appear on all mentioned days as and when is required of him, and the defendant is to report to officer in charge prosecution every Tuesday government fortnight week between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Magistrate Pew further approved Maragao and Sagapuna as guarantors who will give 1,000 kina each as surety. Kamila Guare, TV1 News, Ley.
This is TV1 News. We'll have the day's other stories after these messages. Don't go away.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSB's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSB's One Talk Wallet. PSB's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
Hiya, Mama.
You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic Kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Magic, PNG and Mia. Pine PNG made.
We've been traveling along this road together for over 50 years. Ella Motors acknowledges the visionaries and hard work that have been the driving strength to continued nation building. We live, prosper, sustainably grow with the community, whilst developing quality mobility chains, aspiring to be your first choice on every occasion. Ella Motors, celebrating with Papua New Guinea throughout our independence golden jubilee.
PNG's favorite soft drink now in bottles. Goldspot brings you fresh, bold flavors in brand new 500ml bottles. Taste the rainbow. More freshness, more flavor, more fun. Lime, orange, raspberry, and pineapple. Proudly made in PNG. Proudly Goldspot.
For Simon, life is simple. Dreams seem distant, yet hope remains. One ticket, one dream. Simon's world changed forever. Yes! From small dreams to big possibilities. The One-Top Jackpot is here for everyone. Win big every day.
Welcome back. The Teaching Service Commission has approved 20 teaching positions for Gobo All-Girls Schools of Excellence in Jimmy Electorate in Jiwaka Province. According to TSC Commission Operations Maini Ugaya, TSC approved these teaching positions under the secondary salary structure as per the Secretary's approval dated December the 19th, 2024. Mr. Ugaya said this approval is done to cater for the science specialist learning for all girls in the province and the country as a whole, commencing with first grade 11 intakes to be enrolled in the 2026 academic year. Mr. Ugaya said the approved Gobo All-Girls School of Excellence position specification under secondary salary structure will be effective starting January the 1st, 2026 also. The Project Steering Committee of the Manam Resettlement Authority met with the board and other stakeholders on Tuesday and approved 4 million kina to acquire land to begin the resettlement program. The money will be drawn down to the 10 million kina allocated by the government.
According to Provincial Administrator Daniel Aloy, the Mara board had already made the allocation, and as members of the committee, they came together to ensure this money is approved and executed. Mr. Aloy acknowledged that it has taken a very long time for the resettlement program to be implemented, but they are hoping to have some people settled at Andarum by the year's end.
I think after a long time we've been speaking about it, but the action to move the settlers, move the Manam Islanders to Andoram was a long wait, and in this meeting we deliberated that at least 4 million kina will have to be set aside, deposited into a trust to ensure that land is acquired properly. And that is most important, and that would really start off the actual settlement. And I think the committee deliberated and saying that at least before this year ends we would have 10 families at least be able to relocate them.
Mr. Aloy also gave credit to the Medang Governor Ramsey Pariwa for prioritizing the Manam Island resettlement agenda and said Manam resettlement is a provincial concern and the administration will take ownership and work with Bogia DDA in line with their priority agendas.
To take ownership over the resettlement program, I did not have any reservations on that. The project area and the activities in our province, and we must take responsibility for it. But at least the national government and national agencies would see clearly that next to Manam Resettlement Authority itself, we have the administration that is responsible for it. I believe that the district will also stand to do that. That's what we are looking at. So it's the start of the actual resettlement exercise after a long, long wait.
Government department in charge of internally displaced persons, a Department of Provincial and Local Level Government Office, stressed that inconsistent funding continues to be the constraint towards the resettlement project. Patterson Kassam, the Director for City and Resettlement Authorities in DPLLG, stated that a team will be sent to Medang and onto Andarum for mobility and scoping work. After land is acquired and people resettled, DPLLGA will officially hand over the task to the provincial administration responsible. Mr. Kassam stated the same approach will be used for other IDPs such as the Kadovar people of East Sepik and Mulitaka in Enga province.
For the first time, we are going to work with the provincial government, the provincial administration in supporting the project through some technical assistance, like in terms of using the provincial lands officers. We are thankful that the province is now going to take ownership.
Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
The 2025 International Conference on Judicial Integrity and Judicial Wellbeing today at the APEC House, hosted by the PNG Judiciary United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and the Commonwealth Secretariat. The three-day conference, which began today, will end on August the 22nd, 2025. It is a follow-up from the Regional Judicial Conference held in Nauru from the 24th to the 26th of July, where the Nauru Declaration on Judicial Wellbeing was adopted on the 25th of July 2024. According to the UNODC Pacific, the conference brings together judges, judicial authorities, and experts from around the world, especially the Pacific region, where participants will discuss emerging trends and challenges related to the judicial integrity and well-being.
Affecting judiciary, internal pressure factor, vicarious trauma, so traumas that are coming from having to see lots of difficult story or difficult moments for victims in front of them for every day. So how do judges and judicial officers work with that? We'll be also discussing about surveys that have been conducted in the region or will be conducted in the region to understand better, to really have evidence. It's always very difficult to understand. There might be some small anecdotes, but what does it mean in terms of getting the information out there? So the survey, we'll have really also AI is one, how can we use AI to help the judges, but what also are the challenges that are coming for AI and that can be sometimes detrimental to judges. So those are some topics. There'll be more because there are 3 days of conference and with also parallel sessions. So there's a lot of things that will be discussed.
A special screening of Plesman 2 was held Tuesday evening. Whilst there is a lot to be expected during the movie, the film portrays itself as an inspirational for all Papua New Guineans. Plesman 2 will premiere soon, hopefully before the end of September this year, in conjunction with the country's 50th independence anniversary celebration. Plesman is a Papua New Guinean film produced by Jonah Film Production. It tells the story of a young Papua New Guinean named Eric and his journey to bringing peace and development to his community. Plesman 2 is dedicated to the founding fathers of the country and is said to be a progress from where Plesman 1 ended off and into the depths of tribal conflict, sorcery-related violence, women empowerment, and the vision for a better Papua New Guinea.
And 2 cameramen. So in terms of quality, is not good like Plesman 2. So Plesman 2, we have 14 crews working on the team, and then I can say we have extras, almost 300 people involved in the movie as extras. So the changes, you see the story-wise is different, and then the quality-wise is totally different. So there's improvement from the placement one. Yeah.
Director Ramanathan Undiapa said that the shooting and editing took 3 months, and the film is 95% complete. They are now working towards talking with the government about releasing the movie before the end of September.
I don't have any plan for placement 3, but if I want to make the next movie, definitely then make the movies in international level. Like placement 1 is 2 is a local movie to educate the people. It's an educational movie, it's not something to. But definitely if I make placement 3, I'm not sure, but hopefully it's happened. Yeah. So I'm trying to talk to the government to release the movie on Independence Day. So I wait for their response. Hopefully, Otherwise, before end of September, we're going to release the movie.
Jonna Film Production is gifting this film to the country in celebration of its 50th independence anniversary.
So I'm staying here almost 12 years. This country is so blessed. We have potential of tourism. Tourism itself, we can make $1 million, yearly. But we can't even reach 500,000 yearly in terms of the tourism industry. So why? We have all the blessing, all the potential in this country, but due to these conflicts, so I just want to change. That's the reason. Because we cannot go beyond. People like us, we talk frankly, foreigner, all of us. We have a good life here. Are you agree with me? But the own people are suffering. But why they suffering? Who created this suffering? They created through this tribal conflict, sorcery violence. Do you agree with me, Spencer?
Agree.
That's the reason. So as a foreigner, I'm invest money because I can't go away like that. I need to contribute something back to this beautiful nation.
Furthermore, Jonna Film Production believe films or movies can change the mindset of people, especially the future generation. The director for Placement and producers said that more support needs to go into the film industry to create more movies to bring change.
So already 50 years we are independent, but still we are tribal fight everywhere. Before tribal fight only rural area, now it's already spreading to the cities now. So we need to change the mindset of people, especially the future generation. That's why we put all the effort to make this placement 1 to placement 2. We're putting a lot of money in the spot. When you come to movie, there's no support from NGOs and then, the government. It's very hard to get support. But you see what the country needs now. We need to change the mindset of future generation. So movie can unite you, yes, no doubt about it. But sports. But movie can change the mindset. Okay, it's a very good educational tool to change the mindset of the people.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2402 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2329, $0.3583 Australian dollars, $0.1919 euro, and 33.04 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and copper closed higher, gold, cocoa, and crude oil closed lower, and palm oil and copper remained the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX closed higher, and all ordinaries closed lower. You're watching TVWAN News. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we bring you news making headlines overseas. Stay tuned.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's OneTalk wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our OneTalks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's OneTalk wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in Milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in Milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Buying PNG made.
Cold Pal Lemon is tough on stains and gentle on clothes. Cold Pal Lemon has a great lemon fragrance which brightens your clothes and gives that extra freshness that lasts all day long. Cold Pal Lemon, tough on stains, gentle on clothes with extra freshness.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in Tokyo, we're old as calories, family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite by miles. Tennessee cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Tennessee cola, scale rice, don't scale price. Amber, you like it?
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Long year 2024, 7 pla baby I born one time HIV. HIV ikan go long baby long triple rot. Time bel mama ikat HIV, long time long karen baby, na time baby isusu. Tasol yumi can help him bel mama, long look out him baby inside long bell. Go quick time long bel mama clinic, na kisim antenatal check. Time yumi pan him sick HIV ariap, o time bel mama I positive penis, early treatment I can save him baby. Give him baby healthy start long life. Stop him spread long sick HIV eagle long baby. This lutok sawe ikam long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
Smith is walking again. Douglas was wrapping there. Fionney, this time he scored. Over the top, he's Johnston, runs to line, to a hole, tipped on by Fionney on to Corey Allen, and the Dragons hook chases. This time, Fionney beats Timacor.
Thanks for staying with us. Cryopreservation is being used to help save a critically endangered tree found only in southeast Queensland. There are only 380 specimens of Gossia gonoclada, or angle-stemmed metal, left in the wild.
It was once the stuff of science fiction. Now cryotechnology is being used to save critically endangered plants.
Kind of like imagining Han Solo from Star Wars coming out of, carbon freezing, but doing it for plants.
The Gossia gonoclada is only found in southeast Queensland, with 380 trees believed to be left in the wild. A fungal disease known as myrtle rust is impacting numbers, so too rising temperatures and land clearing. Now scientists at the University of Queensland have turned to cryopreservation.
The idea is to safeguard this species by storing the healthy regenerable plant tissues so that one day they can be used to grow new plants in case the species extinct in the wild.
They've spent 3 years perfecting the technique, which keeps the tissue in liquid nitrogen at negative 196 degrees.
The challenging part for cryopreservation is that you have to develop a protocol for different things every time differently.
The tree is named after former Queensland Premier Wayne Goss and is found mostly here in Logan. The local council has also jumped on board to do what it can to save the species.
And that's including sort of monitoring the health, the status against threats like myrtle rust, doing habitat mapping.
Researchers have successfully grown new trees out of regenerated frozen tissue.
Jingyin's been successful in achieving 100% regeneration rate for cryopreservation of Gossia fragrantissima, which is a related species to Gossia gonoclada. And that's quite unheard of.
Giving the tree a future.
An Australian Navy destroyer has joined ships from the Philippines and Canada for a joint sail in the South China Sea, an area of flaring tensions following a collision between two Chinese vessels last week. The Philippine frigate BRP Jose Rizal, Australian ship HMAS Brisbane, and Canadian frigate HMCS Ville de Quebec were participating in the operation, which a Philippine military official said was not directed at any country. The Australian Navy said this joint sail demonstrates the strength of Australia's security relationship with the Philippines. In May, China's foreign ministry criticized Australia after it conducted another joint military exercise in the South China Sea, saying it was trying to create trouble. It's been nearly a month since Australia was struck by a national shortage of medicine used to treat rheumatic heart disease. In the Northern Territory, RHD rates are among the highest in the world, disproportionately affecting remote Indigenous communities. Now clinicians are calling for immediate action to address the drug shortage, saying it not only harms patients directly, but undoes the work of health initiatives which have been working on combating the disease for decades.
Enrique Thomas suffered with rheumatic heart disease for nearly 7 years before being formally diagnosed.
I was in and out of hospital since I was about 7-8 years old, and the doctors really didn't know what was going on. They first believed that it was an electrical fault within the heart.
He was finally diagnosed at 14 and now works with the Deadly Heart Trek, an initiative working to eliminate rheumatic heart disease in remote Australia.
You have to have penicillin needles every month. So for me, it's every 3 weeks. So we end up having around about 13, 14 needles every year.
But the type of penicillin he needs, a drug commonly known as bicillin, is increasingly hard to come by. In July this year, Australia's supply, marketed under the brand name Extensilin and subsidised under the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme, was exhausted.
People don't realise that rheumatic heart disease in Australia, we have some of the highest rates. And these kids that get diagnosed, because it's really mostly young people and it's predominantly females, they need their bicillin.
In the weeks since Extensilin ran out, no alternative brands have been subsidised under the PBS, leaving clinicians in short supply of the life-saving medication. Now, clinicians here in the NT say the alternatives they do have are powder-based. They're prone to blocking up in syringes and can be extremely painful for the children who have to receive them. On the front lines, clinicians are calling for a solution, which could include further PBS listings or the drug's manufacture in Australia.
We can deliver these fancy, expensive treatments like chemotherapy and so on, many very expensive medication, and the most basic and the cheapest medication we run out of. And why is that? Because this formulation of penicillin is used in disadvantaged populations across the world.
On top of the health implications, they say a shortage undoes the important messaging of organisations like the Deadly Heart Trek.
It sends the message that maybe this medicine is not important if the entire country doesn't have any, if the country of Australia is not responsible to deliver the medication, basic cheap medication that is required. It sends a message that maybe we don't matter.
A disease of the past plaguing the future of Australia's most marginalised communities.
Indonesia airdropped 18 tons of aid into Gaza after being given special permission by Israel. As people in Gaza continue to die of starvation, Indonesia sent necessities including blankets, staple foods, ready-to-eat meals, and medicine. The Indonesian military said the aid mission was conducted with other countries and led by the Royal Jordanian Air Force. Indonesian authorities said a second batch of aid was dropped into the strip on Tuesday as part of the country's plan to deliver 800 tons of aid to the people of Gaza. Mohamed Madam from the National Zakat Foundation Indonesia said the mission wasn't easy due to the security and regulations around the border under Israeli military control. The jury in the Supreme Court trial of Matt Wright has heard he asked the pilot who survived the fatal helicopter crash at the center of the case to falsify flight records while he was recovering in hospital. Mr. Wright has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of attempting to pervert the course of justice following the 2022 crash, which killed his close friend and television co-star Chris Wilson and seriously injured the pilot. Mr. Wright has denied the allegations against him.
First the older brother, then the mother, those closest to pilot Sebastian Robinson taking the stand in the trial of Matt Wright. Zachary Chellingworth today told the court he remembers Mr. Wright visiting his little brother in hospital days after he survived the 2022 helicopter crash. He said during that visit, Mr. Wright asked his brother to falsify helicopter flight records, but said he never saw Mr. Wright touching or deleting things from Mr. Robinson's mobile phone. Mr. Chellingworth said he was aware investigators were examining whether the crashed helicopter had run out of fuel, but he denied colluding with other family members to help his brother avoid possible blame for the accident. I'm suggesting to you that that's why you and your mother and your brother manufactured these allegations against Mr. Wright. You're wrong. Manufactured this allegation about him asking to transfer hours from IDW to ZXZ. It's a lie. It never happened. It's not a lie. I'm telling the truth. Under cross-examination by the defence, the witness was asked why he didn't intervene more forcefully to stop Mr. Wright allegedly pressuring his little brother. Zach Chellingworth told the court it was very tense and emotional in the hospital room and it was hard to gather his thoughts. It was extremely tense and emotional because Mr. Wright was expressing his concern for the welfare of your brother. No, he wasn't. He was trying to help your brother, wasn't he? No. He was trying to help your brother clean up the mess he left behind. No. Mr. Chellingworth told the court he was aware of his little brother's occasional use of cocaine. He said the only time he'd seen his brother use the drug was at his bucks party on a boat owned by Mr. Wright. He said he wasn't aware of Mr. Wright's zero-tolerance drug policy. Mr. Robinson's mother, Nolene Chellingworth, took the stand this afternoon, telling the court she too witnessed Matt Wright asking her son to falsify his helicopter flying hours. A family still coming to terms with tragedy, forced to relive every moment.
Josh Haynes and Manu Bon have been issued an eviction notice for their tiny home on wheels in the Bega Valley. It comes as the local council calls on the New South Wales government to clarify definitions and approval pathways for movable dwellings.
Josh and Manu's home may be small, but it fits everything they need.
It's about as long as the biggest crocodile that was ever recorded, but it's not quite as tall as the average giraffe.
The couple built the tiny home in the Bega Valley 2 years ago. They consider it to be a caravan, which generally doesn't require approval in New South Wales.
It sits atop a registrable trailer and it has the ability to be registered as a caravan.
The local council doesn't agree and has issued an eviction notice.
We're very shocked and sad as well.
Council's telling us one thing, that it's a structure. We're pretty certain it's a caravan.
Across the valley, other movable units are also in dispute with the council.
This all comes back into a container. They come on a trailer and they are a movable dwelling. And so we always assumed that they would fit that definition.
Mick Brosnan has been unable to get approval for 3 movable units used as crisis accommodation.
When you're young or you're facing domestic violence, where do you go? You've got that crisis, you need somewhere transitional.
Mr. Brosnan says the units fill a gap in the region.
The community has to be more flexible in the way it considers housing.
We don't want to see anyone without a roof over their head. At the same time, we want to see people actually play by the rules and lodge their DA if that's the right way.
Councils are responsible for regulating and approving individual dwellings, but any local policy changes require state government support. That's holding back a trial of tiny homes in another part of New South Wales. Shell Harbour Council says it's still working through a complex legislative pathway to get its pilot project up and running.
The state government released draft changes to the legislation that deals with movable dwellings nearly 2 years ago. The Department of Planning told the ABC it's still working on those reforms. But it says a separate approval policy for tiny homes is not necessary.
We'd love to just be able to have the authority ourselves to make the decision that suits the council and also the people and the residents of the Bega Valley Shire.
The social justice advocates have taken Bega Valley Shire Council to the Land and Environment Court, with a hearing set for December.
I don't want to fight council, you know, it's not in my interest at all. But I am going to house people. That's a fact.
Manu and Josh are under direction to leave their home in September. They're also appealing.
Of course we're going to fight for it because this is our home.
The tiny homes at the centre of a big debate.
Thanks for watching. News ends on that note. Sports is up next. I'll bring you all the details after the break.
Curly, straight, soft, wavy, afro, short, long, healthy. Palmolive Naturals for naturally beautiful hair.
It's formula infused with extracts like coconut oil, aloe vera and avocado to enhance your hair's natural beauty, giving you naturally beautiful hair that always looks gorgeous and smells great throughout the day. Palmolive Naturals.
Have a great hair day!
Mr. Russell, memang isim-isimnya sa pemilih.
You survey yourself, you can put in one per complaint.
I'm not giving big the happy. Online by doctor. Nah, also one I'm supposed me on data sorry kissing.
You think him go through of Sam, you like putting this plus sexual harassment report on Mr. Russell.
Who said you making this black complaint?
Joining BCFW now member blong ni plan na stand up strong against workplace harassment.
Marvin Gable. I thought a has-been killing like yourself would be scarier.
Oh! Hiding ain't living. If we're gonna stop your brother, I'm gonna need the old you.
You want the old me?
You got him.
Love Hurts. Premieres Saturday, August 23rd, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Often friends go with the wedding party during weddings, but at my wedding, my wife will go with the wedding party. My friend will marry me and come home with me.
Friends will always remain friends, right? My husband has a friend too. But something happened and now she's my husband's wife too. Do you want to know why?
No one knows what God wills. 3 lives are bound within one marriage.
They brought State of Origin to Melbourne for the first time way back in 1990.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Fan.
35 test matches for the Aussies.
Round 14, 2011 against the Brisbane Broncos, a try-double. Remember that day?
Yeah, I remember that one.
So let's look back now at some of their greatest moments.
Thanks for staying with us. PNG Hunters Livewire fullback Sunny Wabo is relishing another breakout season in the Queensland Rugby League Host Plus Cup season following his explosive form displayed in the last 2 home games. The 26-year-old Simbu Morbe sensation brings the X Factor tag using his deceptive footwork, speed, strength and agility to mesmerize the opponent's defensive line to create scoring opportunities.
And then he cruises over.
Wabo, when reflecting on his individual game and how he's embracing the season thus far, highlighted some important factors in the team that has really helped his game to go another level. He says it comes down to individual preparation week in, week out, and staying connected with the team. Wabo also thanked coaching staff, especially the physio, for getting his body right, mainly the niggling injuries midway through the season, which has helped a lot in maintaining his form and consistency.
Just come back to individual when I'm able to preparation. Just start tight on the team na. Me look at me. Lo perform week in week out. I almost come back after little injuries, but yeah, just go through and them physios na. Focus the committed lo rehab lo min. That makes it easier lo come back and lo quick time.
When commenting on last week's win against Magpies and the team's overall performance, he expressed satisfaction with the work of the spine and how they were able to rally the troops around the park.
Look, like spine and does step up straight last week, so at least we got in communication, early direction, 6 to 7, that's making me easier, call calls, play attacking, yeah, so I'm mastered. Nothing changed. When it's something where work lo mi plan just stop tight one time team na individual lo mi plan lo boys yet just simple individual when I'm able to right so and be make easier lo any game me take him.
Wabo said the remaining games is very crucial to keep their sport in the top 8. On his personal goals and aspirations with the end of the year international matches, PM's 13 and the Pacific Championships in October-November, Wabo is very optimistic about his end-of-the-season goals.
Yeah, always I'm sure that's growing up, I mean, I play very much it's like a representative family in the country. It's like always me to me that the goals there, at least making collab this year. I'm always collab just but right now I'm just focused on me and stuff on them and that's na the remaining game go semi-finals. Just focused on me and stuff on if next opportunity and mixing no them.
Moving to this week's clash against Winner Manly Seagulls, Wabo again emphasized on communication and defense and being consistent for the full 80 minutes. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The Port Moresby Rugby League competition is gearing up for an exciting conclusion this weekend, with round 8 marking the final stage of the regular season. As teams prepare to solidify their positions on the points table, the top 8 teams are set to enter the finals next week.
Recapping the current standings, Coney Storms is leading the ladder with 25 points, Santos Roosters with 20 points, and Parker Panthers at the bottom of the ladder with 15 points. In this weekend's fixtures, a highly anticipated match this Saturday as the Storms, the minor premiers, face a determined Roosters team looking to make a statement before the finals. Butterflies versus Souths is another crucial clash as both teams vie for better positioning in the playoffs before the bottom of the table clash between Defence and Brothers. Both are aiming to avoid the wooden spoon. In the Coney Tigers versus Hanwapara Hawks clash, the Tigers will aim to build momentum heading into the finals, challenging the Hawks in what's expected to be a competitive matchup. On Saturday, Gulf West will face off with Tarragao, where Tarragao will look to solidify their playoff spot against West in what should be another exciting encounter. The final A-grade match of the round between Zulu Raiders and Hoala Flies has been scheduled for Monday. Expanding on the finals format, PNG NRL Games Coordinator John Mawe confirmed that this year's finals will include the Open Women and Under-20 Boys competitions. The semi-final series will unfold over 4 weeks, with a week-long break before the grand finals tentatively scheduled for the first week of October. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
PNG NRL franchise CEO Andrew Hill has again emphasized the importance of community involvement in determining the PNG NRL team name, design, colors, and theme song, as it will help cultivate a sense of pride and ownership among the people of Papua New Guinea. He encouraged everyone to participate in the competition and submit their entries, promising a significant prize for the winner.
Team competition last week, Hill mentioned that the next online phase of the competition will involve deciding on the team mascot, design, and theme song. This process will further engage the community and allow them to contribute in creating a unique and representative identity for the franchise.
We will, as Lorna said, once we've gone through the process, we will name the team. There will not be any mascot or logo or colours at this stage. It'll just first of all is come up with a name. We then will be able to go back to the community and the people of PNG to start to talk about what the mascot might be. We can't have a mascot before we have the name. Once we have the name and the mascot, then we can talk about colours. Once we talk about the name, the colours, the mascot, we can talk about a team song. We can start engaging primary school students to help us come up with a jersey design. We can start talking to church groups and senior high school students about what the team song can be. This truly is a strategy to bring people along.
Hill noted that once a club name is established, they will begin hiring personnel and engaging with the community. He mentioned plans to implement pathways for local talent and collaborate closely with the PNG Rugby Football League and the Hunters, emphasizing the commitment to developing a vibrant rugby league culture in the region. In a recent board meeting of the PNG NRL franchise, CEO Hill provided insights into the organization's strategic direction and future plans, particularly concerning player speculation. He emphasized the importance of public opinion on rugby league.
The speculation around players is always going to be there, and we welcome that. One of the great things about rugby league is everyone has an opinion. And we welcome it, and we acknowledge it, and we play the game off the field just like the game is played on the field. And to that point, I wish Alex Johnson the very best of luck in coming weeks, that a proud Papua New Guinean will become the leading try scorer in the history of the game. And we look forward to celebrating that. And there was an article recently this week that suggested he's got a clause in his contract that allows him to come to PNG whenever he wishes. It's all speculation. What I can assure you is that if it doesn't come from the board, or if it doesn't come from my email address, please don't believe it. Wait till you hear from us, and when we're ready to tell you news, we will most certainly tell you in a very formal way.
He also extended his best wishes to Alex Johnston, highlighting the significance of a proud Papua New Guinean potentially becoming the leading try scorer in the rugby league history. Addressing the recent rumors regarding Johnston's contract, Hill urged fans to be cautious about believing unverified information. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And that ends the sports segment. We'll now have the weather forecast. Regional forecast. Southern. Port Moresby partly sunny afternoon to partly cloudy evening with possible few showers. Alotau mostly cloudy with periods of rain and thunderstorms. Womase, lay cloudy periods with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Wewak and Vanimo, cloudy periods with occasional rain showers and possible thunderstorm. New Guinea Islands, Kokopo Rabaul, cloudy periods with rain showers and thunderstorm. Boka, partly cloudy periods with rain showers and thunderstorm. And across the Highlands region, cloudy periods with rain showers and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast. Coral and Solomon Sea, seas rough with southeast to easterly winds of 20 to 33 knots, near gale warning areas. Solomon Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeast to easterly winds of 15 to 25 knots, reaching 33 knots at times. Bismarck Sea, seas slight to moderate to patchy rough over southern sector, with southeast to easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 to 33 knots over southern sector. And Pacific Ocean, seas moderate to rough, with northeast to easterly winds of 10 to 20 knots, increasing to 25 to 33 knots at times. And coastal waters forecast: waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwa Island to Kerma to Yule Island to Port Moresby to Hood Point to Summer Islands. Waters north of Cape Vogel to Horn Gulf to Finchefin. Waters of Long Island to Medang to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border. And waters of New Island and Bougainville. Sea 0.5 to 1.5 meters, rising to 3 meters along warning areas. Waters of Summer Island to Cape Vogel and all Milimbe Islands, seas 2 to 3 meters along warning areas. And that ends TV1 News. From the news team and I, have a pleasant evening. Bye now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by